Welcome once again to SoCo Chat, a podcast where we hear directly from county leaders, discuss the latest news, and talk about all things concerning our beautiful corner of California known as Sonoma County. Welcome back to SoCo Chat, everyone. I'm your host once again, Paul Gullickson, Communications Manager for the County of Sonoma. We thank you for joining us. Hey, it's Halloween, and today we're having one of our occasional SoCo Chat Roundtables. It's sort of a lightning round update, if you will, on a number of items and stories happening here at the county. And to help us with that discussion, we have three members of our Central Communications team today. Joining us are Matt Brown, our Supervising Communications Specialist, Karina Garcia, our Bilingual Communications Specialist, and Ted Appel, another one of our Communications Specialists. But before we get to them, we first want to announce some winners of one of our recent trivia questions. The question was, what is the largest park in the Sonoma County Regional Park System? The answer we were looking for was Tole Lake Regional Park in South County, which offers 12 miles of hiking trails and 3,402 acres of rolling hills. Our winner was Julie Bertoli of unincorporated Sonoma County, who listens to us on Spotify. Congratulations, Julie. We also had a second winner, and that is Carmen Gonzalez of Santa Rosa, who said the answer was Hood Mountain Regional Park, which is technically the correct answer because it was the Hood Mountain was recently expanded and now covers 3,700 acres, which is now the largest park in the region. So congratulations to both Carmen and Julie who for correctly answering our trivia question, and both of them are going to receive prizes this week. So, and finally, our question for this week is this. It's well known that the historic McDonald Avenue area of Santa Rosa is one of the most popular destinations in all the Bay Area for trick-or-treaters. Our question is this. Can you name two new movies that were filmed in the McDonald Avenue area? And for a bonus treat, a Pete's gift card, what year were those movies filmed? If you know, call us at 707-565-2242 or email us at publicaffairs@sonoma-county.org. And if you're correct, you'll win one of our prizes, including that SoCo Chat mug or one of our flasks, as well as that Pete's gift card if you get our bonus question. So let's get on with our roundtable discussion. Matt, I'm going to start with you. And I want to note that this is not only Halloween, it is your birthday, or it's your birthday tomorrow, correct?
That's right. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
What's it like having your birthday right at Halloween?
It's a lot of fun. But
you always have friends around a costume.
I had a lot of sugar growing up, so we would get a lot of tummy aches.
Yeah. Doesn't everybody show up at your party the day after Halloween with a bellyache?
A little bit of a candy hangover, exactly. So, but still a lot of fun.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're getting our show in before we all get a headache here. Not that I have a lot of candy at home, but so listen, last week the Board of Supervisors approved the creation of a micro enterprise home kitchen program. That's a mouthful, but would you break it down for us into some bite-sized portion? What does that mean?
Absolutely. So let's say you're a talented home cook, home chef, and you make delicious tamales or pulled pork sandwiches. All your friends and family say, the food is delicious. You should open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Well, we all know that there's a lot of barriers to entry to the food industry, right? So not everybody has the time or the money to start their own restaurant, a brick and mortar restaurant, that is. So with this new program, Micro Enterprise Home Kitchen Operations, or MAKO, it's allowing people to essentially start a restaurant out of their home kitchen. So they can cook and prepare and sell food right from their own home. People can come to their home and buy the food to take out, or they can eat it there and dine in.
And so this is really intended to help those people as a way entry into this kind of a system. And this isn't just happening in Sonoma County, right? This is kind of statewide?
Absolutely. So aspiring home chefs can get a good start, a foot into the door in the food industry. They can, start preparing food and selling it right there from home, and perhaps maybe save up enough capital to open a restaurant in the future. Sonoma County is one of 16 jurisdictions throughout the state that have started this type of program. So we're not the first, but we're certainly getting onto this bandwagon of letting people do this.
And so what do these entrepreneurs, what do they need to do, right, in order to be able to take advantage of this program?
There's a couple of things that they need. They're going to need a health permit from the Sonoma County's Environmental Health Division. They're also going to need a food safety manager certificate And for other employees that work there, they're going to need a food handler card. For other workers, they may need a public water system permit if they're using a public well, but that's about it.
Okay, and they can go, where can they find that information if they need it?
sonomacounty.ca.org, and then search for the Environmental Health Division, and they should have all the requirements there up on their website.
And now there are limits on this, right? You can't be unlimited how many meals you offer, right?
Absolutely. So the limits are first you have to prepare and cook the food and serve it on the same day. On site in your kitchen on the same day. So you can't pre-make meals and sell it later. Mm-hmm. It's capped at 30 meals per day or 90 meals per week, and or $100,000 in annual sales is the limit. Also, no third-party delivery systems are allowed, so no Uber Eats or Grubhub or anything like that. But you can, the proprietor can deliver food from that they've cooked in their kitchen to other people.
Yeah, and they can actually serve it there too. People can come and eat at their homes. Correct?
You can have people come and dine in right there on site.
Yeah, well, 30 meals a day. That sounds like my family when I was growing up. I was one of the youngest in I think my mom made 30 meals a day. At least it probably felt like that to her. But, well, what a wonderful opportunity for some of these people. And it's kind of fits into that whole farm to table programs that we're seeing more and more, and in a way for us to build community, right? To get to know your neighbors.
It's a great opportunity not only for these home chefs to showcase their talents, but also for the neighbors in the community to enjoy some regional food that they may not have access to otherwise. So you can, right down the street, there may be a great place to go get a great meal that wouldn't be there otherwise.
And so this is open not just to the residents in unincorporated county. This is in the cities as well, correct?
By opting into this program, the county's opting in. It includes all the 9 cities. So it's anywhere within the unincorporated or within the cities.
And the county got buy-in from these cities.
Certainly we did.
They all know.
We did a lot of outreach to all the cities about what this entails. And so, the cities are on board with this program, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, that sounds fantastic. And so finally, when does this take effect?
So we're looking at a rollout of January 1st when people can start seeking those permits. It's going to take a little bit of time for environmental health to get up to speed with the application process. But people can start taking advantage January 1st.
Okay. Thank you, Matt, for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Okay, let's now switch over to Ted Appel. Ted, we want to talk about the state of the retirement system. Now, I know that's another mouthful to talk about, but last week we got some good news. What is the state of the system now?
Well, Paul, when you look at pension systems, the county's pretty darn healthy, and that's good news for the nearly 12,000 former and current county government employees who depend on the pension system. And it's also good news for taxpayers, frankly, because it's allowing the county to reduce its pension costs. Mm-hmm. So let's dig into the numbers. The pension plan for county employees contained about $3.5 billion in assets at the end of 2023, up from $3.31 billion the previous year. And it was 94% funded at the end of the year. Now, let's put that in perspective. The retirement system for the state workers, CalPERS, is only 75% funded. So the county's is doing pretty well by comparison.
Yeah, that's great. And so would you mind explaining what is an unfunded liability? We hear that term a lot.
Yeah, it's talked about a lot. And what it is, essentially, is the gap between the assets in a pension plan and the amount that is owed to retirees. Mm-hmm. The Board of Supervisors here in Sonoma County has made a real commitment to reducing the county's unfunded liability, and it's producing results. As of June, the county's unfunded liability stood at $392 million. That's down about 37% in just 4 years. It's still a big number, but keep in mind that we are talking about a $3.5 billion pension plan.
Right.
So why is the unfunded liability down? Part of it reflects the trends on Wall Street. Anyone with a 401k knows that the last 2 years have been pretty good. Mm-hmm. The Sonoma County Employees Retirement System takes a pretty conservative approach to investing, but it's still earned an average of 9% annually on its investments over the last 5 years. So the rising value of the fund is one factor that's going into it. But this also reflects a strategy undertaken by the Board of Supervisors to make early payments on the unfunded liability. Since 2015, the Board of Supervisors has made $25 million in early payments on the unfunded liability. For the last 5 years, the board's committed an annual sum equal to about 0.5%, 0.5% of the county's payroll towards specifically reducing the unfunded liability while continuing to supplement those prepayments with one-time payments when it's able to do so. So as a result of this policy decision and the commitment to put money towards this as opposed to other priorities, the county's going to avoid an estimated $20 million in interest costs over the next 15 years and more over time. That frees up money to spend on other things.
Yeah. Well, and I understand the county's actually paid off one of its pension obligation bonds as well. Can you explain that?
That's true. So a pension obligation bond is a tool used by many local and state governments to finance their pension systems. Basically, you borrow money from investors, usually at a fixed interest rate, and then deposit that money into your pension system and invest it. If the county earns more on its investment than it has to pay to bondholders, then it comes out ahead. So the county's issued pension obligation bonds 3 times, in 1993, 2003, and 2010. It borrowed a total of $1.1 billion. It paid off the 1993 bond in 2013, and just last year it paid off the 2003 bonds. And it remains on track to pay off the $219 million remaining on its 2010 bond by the end of this decade. And it has consistently, over this period, earned more by investing the money that it borrowed than it has had to pay out to bondholders.
So it has paid off.
Yeah, the approach is working well for the county.
Yeah. That was a gamble. I know there was a lot of debate about that, but it has paid off, and certainly the market has really helped.
That's correct.
So bottom line is the system is much better. We're in a much better situation than we were 10, 15 years ago, correct?
Yeah, clearly. So for more than a decade, and I'll put it in perspective, for more than a decade, the county has spent an amount equal to around 18 to 20% of its total salary and benefit costs to support the pension system for county government employees. But those costs are dropping. They're projected to fall under 15% of salary and benefits during the fiscal year that ended just this last June, and it's going to stay under 15% for the next 8 years if the projections that we're looking at hold true, and they've been pretty on the money. And basically, that's a good thing because it frees up that money for the county to spend on other programs that are really important.
Yeah. Well, we should note, I mean, the pension reform adopted by the state and adopted by the county is really, I mean, the whole system has changed significantly since then, and so the new employees are not quite getting the same perks as the older residents, but it's still much better than you're getting in the private sector.
And it's true. A lot of private companies have eliminated their pension systems and left workers to their own. And the benefits aren't as good for county employees as they used to be, but
they're more manageable and they're more affordable.
They're more sustainable, quite frankly.
Yeah. And they're more, So whether we're bringing that into line, and that's a great thing. Well, Ted, before you go, I know we'll have a story about this along with some of our other stories we're talking about today in our next edition of SoCo Correspondent, our county newsletter. As the editor of our county newsletter, could you let our listeners know how they can sign up to become subscribers to get this and have it directly emailed to them whenever this newsletter comes out?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the newsletter because it's a great way to stay abreast of what's happening here in the county and make sure that you're in the know. So we got 9,000 people that read it every 2 weeks, and you should join us if you're not getting it already. It's very easy to get. It'll show up in your email inbox twice a week. All you have to do is sign up for it, and you can do that on our website. It's probably easier to Google it, but I'll give you the URL for those of you who like to write things down. It's sonomacounty.ca.gov/SoCo Correspondent.
Yeah, well, it's easy. But like you said, if you just go Google SoCo correspondent, it'll probably take you right to that page.
You'll find it
That'll
real
be the
fast.
easiest. And what kind of things do we normally have in our newsletter? Can you give listeners an idea?
Well, we try to make it. We know people are pressed for time, so we try to keep things short. We have 15 stories in an issue. They range from the latest news here at the county, previews of events that you might be interested in attending, either because they're fun or because they offer you a chance to impact county government and the policies that are made here. We have a roundup of news coverage so you can see how our local and regional media, sometimes even national media, covers the county and what they're writing about. And then a calendar of events with all kinds of ways for you to get involved in county government and impact the decisions that are made here.
Yeah. Well, and as you said, there's a lot of opportunities to find out more information, how to get engaged. There's galleries of photos of various events, profiles of individuals, as well as a list of stories where county has been in the news that you can click on and take you there. So, and not to be forgotten, it's also an update about openings here at the county. So, for those who are maybe interested in applying for a job,
there's a direct link in every issue as to all of our openings, so you can find out how to get a job here. And there's a great class that they offer as well called Start Here, where you can learn exactly how to navigate the hiring process, and we try to include that as well, so that to give people a leg up on getting a job here. So.
Great. Thank you, Ted. I appreciate that. We appreciate the update. And so now we'd like to go to Karina Garcia, our bilingual communications specialist, who joined us about mid-year this year. We're very grateful to have her on board. And she is also the host of SoCo Chat Español, the Spanish version of our SoCo Chat. Karina, thank you for being here. You had some interesting discussions on SoCo Chat this past month. Would you give us some of the highlights of things you've had on your episodes?
Sure. Thank you, Paul. Thanks for having me. And just to add on the newsletter, there is a Spanish version as well.
Thank you for reminding our listeners. Yeah.
Well, I can't believe I've been here 6 months. You've gotten me through, more than half the year, and
it's gone by fast.
I'm 4 months away from my 5-year anniversary with the county of Sonoma.
Fantastic! Congratulations.
Thank you. SoCo Chat Español has been great. It's given us the opportunity to reach, our monolingual Spanish-speaking community, or bilingual. Some of us are bilingual and prefer Spanish sometimes. So some of the topics we've touched on have been mental health, suicide prevention, awareness, definitely a lot of emergency preparedness.
Yeah, and some of these are issues we also have covered on the English version of SoCo Chat, but sometimes not, right?
Right. And we also had for emergency preparedness, we had a 4-part series on, the different elements of how to prepare, what to do when the emergency comes, what to have in your go bag. And the great thing about SoCo Chat Español, we also had the opportunity to have it in Spanish and, reach more of our community members in case of a disaster. They're better prepared.
Yeah.
In September, we did a 4-part series again on Hispanic heritage and what it means and how people celebrate it. And I was honored to have Cristina Rivera, the county's CEO, as one of our guests. Melissa Valle, the director of the Office of Equity, as well as Rafael Rivero from the city of Santa Rosa, who wears multiple hats in our community. And for the first time, a Spanish roundtable with a couple community members representing different parts of our community. One is a business owner. Another one works also for the city of Santa Rosa, coincidentally. And it's been fun. It's been good to, again, reach our Spanish-speaking community.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have that kind of forum, and I just applaud you for that.
Thank you.
You've been really very creative with these. Well, tell us about some of the. I'd be interested in some of the takeaways you had from your discussion, particularly with the Latina leaders.
Yes.
About the recent. You talked about the recent study by the Commission on the Status of Women in Sonoma County. What do you recall? What stood out for you about that discussion?
Well, I think and they were pleasantly, surprised with some of the findings, but also disappointed at some of them. But overall, I think the takeaway was, that it was highlighting the achievements and contributions of Latina women in our county, the successes and challenges they face every day. Some of the percentages I remember we talked about, there was a 15% increase in salaries yet women are still taking only 88 cents of the dollar compared to men. Despite their hard work, a lot of them are single mothers or first-time moms or women that are going to college for the first time, but they're still having to meet the demands of their job.
Still haven't filled that gap.
So much, yes, exactly. But I appreciate the conversation that we had with Teresita Fernandez and Ana Horta. Thank you again if you're listening, because they started listening to our podcast.
Oh, good.
So those were some of the takeaways from that podcast.
Oh, that's great. Well, and so tell our listeners how, if they want to go back and hear some of these episodes, how they can do that.
Absolutely. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And
same as SoCo Chat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they can also look on the county website. If you just look SoCo Chat Podcast, you'll see the 2 options for both English and Spanish.
Yeah. Well, Karina, you also have been involved or lead in our outreach campaign where we've been going out into various community events, particularly those targeting our Spanish-speaking communities. What's been the purpose and the value of this campaign from your perspective?
Besides fulfilling my need for interaction with people.
You thrive in a public setting. I just want to know.
Growing up, I was extremely shy. I was always hiding behind
That's hard
the camera.
to believe. I'm just going to tell you.
I know. And then somewhere between 19 and 20, I just decided I'm going to be out in public all the time. Anyway, no, the value or the purpose of these campaigns is to connect with our community face to face, humanize the county, and hear directly from our community members. What is it that is working for them in terms of the way we're communicating? Is it the newsletter? Is it the podcast? Is it an email? Do they need a flyer? How can we best communicate?
Or social media?
Absolutely.
What are people using? How can
right?
we
And even
improve?
with social media, is it Facebook? Is it Twitter? Is it Instagram, Snapchat, or maybe another platform that we're not even aware of, or apps, right? And it also gives the community an opportunity to win prizes with our prize wheel and sign up for our newsletter. We take that opportunity to sign up folks and remind them that the podcast exists, remind them that we have a newsletter, also English, Spanish. So great opportunity to mingle and be out in the community.
Well, they're a lot of fun. Let's be honest. We enjoy doing them. So we have one coming up. We have one coming up.
We do. So the goal of this campaign has been to host or attend events in each district. And
Throughout
we've
the
been
county,
trying, throughout the county. And we've been trying to do one event per month. So we have 2 remaining. In honor of Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, we are going to the Monterrio event over the weekend. It's on Sunday, November 3rd in Monterrio. Starting at 10 a.m. with community altar building. It's a free event, runs till 4 o'clock. Free activities, giveaways, food, music. People can dress in costume if they choose to. We're going to be there. We'll be doing Facebook Live. So if you're not able to attend, check out the Facebook page and you'll catch us on there. And then in December, the last event of the year at the winter celebration in the 1st District, Santa Claus will be there giving away gifts, and we will be there with prizes. It's also an opportunity for community members to get to know each other and celebrate the holidays and the year. Oh my gosh,
the year's going by fast.
I know.
Well, those are exciting. We'll be certainly pushing out more information about that through social media and on our newsletter. So we encourage people to stay tuned.
Yeah.
On a final note, I know that you love to make videos, reels, FaceTime, Facebook Lives. You're great at it. What do you have brewing now? What are you working on?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. I think it keeps my creativity going, right? And we like visual stuff. I think a lot of our community members enjoy watching a video here and there.
Yeah.
Currently working on a video that explains more about the Day of the Dead celebration and what it means and how people celebrate and how it originated. So, check out our Instagram and Facebook in the coming days and enjoy the videos.
Well, that's
tradition
great.
and history.
Well, that's great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing those. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. And to our listeners, we would like to remind you that our trivia question for this week is this. Can you name at least 2 movies that were filmed in the historic McDonald Avenue area of Santa Rosa? And for a bonus treat, as we said, we have a Pete's gift card. What year were those movies filmed? If you know, call us at 707-565-2242 or email us at publicaffairs@sonoma-county.org. And if you're correct, you'll win one of our prizes, including your choice of a mug or the water flask and the Pete's gift card. As always, if you have comments about this or any other segment or have a suggestion for a topic for a future SoCo Chat discussion, please email us at that address, same address, publicaffairs@sonoma-county.org. Well, that's all we have time for today. I just want to thank Karina and Ted and Matt for being on here for our lightning round roundtable discussion. We hope you all continue to follow SoCo Chat on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and YouTube. Have a happy Halloween, and don't forget to get your ballot in the mail. Tuesday is Election Day. We'll see you all next time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.